Yeah, hello guys. Yeah, we said we're going to start off today by 12:30. To talk about CV or invariably dissecting a CV. So I'm just coming up to start warming up, start preparing. So if you're up, please you can just begin to invite people now. Invite your friends, invite people, try to reach people even on the group so that we can do this together. Yeah, and begin to invite people so that we can have this together. Yeah, I'm just waiting. I have to come up a few minutes before the time so that we can have a preparation before that time. We can have put on the volume to the left. Yeah, you can start inviting people, start sharing the video. Put the volume and read it, look it up. Connect on the video. Close the door. Yeah, Chidibane here once again, ECLD Professionals Alumni. You already know what we do. We are focused or bent on building, supporting, encouraging business people, business and career people. That's what our focus is. Very simple, it's not difficult. Our emphasis is on business and career. So we're all out to support, business people, to support people who want to go into business. We're out to support, people who want to run a business, people who want to pursue a career. These are the people we want to support. Yes, whether you're already doing business, whether you're already working, whether you are an applicant. An applicant means you're already searching for employment. We don't wish that anybody here will not be even an applicant. One who is not searching for a job is not an applicant. So I wouldn't know what we'll call such a person, but we will encourage such a person to try as much as he or she can to become one. At least begin with an applicant if the person is trying to go into business. Okay? So, so that is it. That is it. That is it. So we encourage us all to begin to invite your friends, and to join, to come up, because this is going to be very explosive. It's going to be mind blowing. It's going to be impacting. I must tell you this. It's going to be impacting. So I will encourage you to invite friends right now and see how we can, all talk about this. And then once we kick off, I want you to quickly post your questions. Just type your questions and post if you want. Okay, or you may call a number that I'm going to share online. And you may equally call a number that I'm going to share online. You may equally call a number that I'm going to share online. Yeah, you can do that. Once I kick off, you can do that, and you can share. You can call a number. You can call a number. Yeah, you can call a number I'm going to share online. Yeah, we're here live. We're here live. We want to talk about, one of the most pressing thing, or one of the things that is most pressing, for our career people today. This particular presentation is for career people, for professionals, for intending professionals, for workers, for applicants. This is for intending professionals, for career persons, for workers. That is what this is for. That's what it is all about. Yeah. So waiting for you to call in, to invite your friends, get them to know that we are live and we're ready, to begin to make presentation on this. Yeah. So quickly invite your friends. We're waiting quickly. All right. It's about 28 minutes right now to 1. So I think we're going to start off right now. What? What? No? That can be heard or what? Okay. I'll quickly. All right. So invite your friends. 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 I'm here, Chidben, here live. Yeah, wanting to deal with CV matters for career people. CV matters for career people. Please post the number online, please. All right. CV matters for career people. That's what we're doing here right now. It just come up. Yeah, I can see Gold is already here. Welcome, Gold. If you can hear me, just indicate by typing right down the comment section that you can hear me. Basi Stella is here as well. Basi Stella is already here. Okereke is not up yet, but expect that he comes up. As a matter of fact, I want to do a brief introduction. So once Okereke comes up, I'm going to do that right now. The emphasis here is on CV. Please share the video, share the video, share the video, share the video so that other persons can connect as well. Share the video so that other persons can as well connect. All right. Share the video so other persons can as well connect. Don't also forget that I said that you can leave your questions as I begin in the comment section, and I'm going to attend to them, as I run through this particular topic. The topic is on CV. CV. I wouldn't just say writing a CV, but I'm talking about a CV. So invariably building a CV. Invariably building a CV. Building a CV. So you can call the number there. You can call the number there once I ask for that. The number posted by Stella, by Basi Stella. You can call the number posted by Basi Stella. You can call that number. All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, we want to talk about CV, and the reason we want to do this is because through my years of training, at least training with graduates, core members, undergraduates, graduates from different institutions alike, I have come to realize that there is so much issues with CV. A lot of persons do not understand what a CV is. A lot of persons do not understand what a CV is. Stella, if you can hear me, please just try and turn on the light, please. Help us and turn on the light, please. You can hear me right now. Okay, turn on the light. When wisdom comes, you can wait for us. Okay, let's do that quickly. Thank you. All right. Like I said earlier, um, a lot of persons have issues with CV. I don't know, even as you're listening to me right now, I don't know what your CV looks like. I don't know how you've been able to build or to write your CV. But as we talk through this particular topic, you would be able to find some answers, possibly to some of your questions. You'll be able to find answers to some of your questions as we run through this. You'll be able to find answers to your questions. Yeah, I know a lot of persons definitely have questions regarding CV matter. So let's start up because it's time. For persons who may not meet us up, they would get to watch the video later on, or who would meet us later, they can join us wherever they meet with us. Now, what is a CV? I know everybody knows that the CV is a curriculum vitae. Everyone knows that the CV is a curriculum vitae. But first of all, I would want to let you know what this is referred to as in different countries. I would say continents. Now, in the United Kingdom, that's in UK, CV, just as it's called, is what they refer to it. The UK is call it CV. The UK call it CV. While the United States refer to it as resume. So if peradventure you have a little issue with that, peradventure you have a little issue with the fact of resume, CV, and all whatnot, just to let you know right now that this is actually what they call it. Okay? United States refers to it as resume, while UK refers to it as CV, while Australia refers to it as either CV or resume. Australia refers to it as either CV or resume. So right now you know that the United Kingdom refers to this as CV, while Australia refers to it as resume or CV, and United States refer to it as resume. So whichever you want to use. But there's something I'm going to talk about regards to that quickly. If as it is known and used here in Nigeria, everybody or most persons are very familiar with the term CV. And so I'm going to address it from that perspective. When you have a CV, your CV should contain all the information about you. Take note of this. When you have a CV, Stella, please, if you can hear me, please go and turn on the gen, please, for me. Okay? So, like I said, CV, if you are using CV, just like we use in Nigeria here, if you are making use of a CV, or if you have a CV, just make sure that you have all the information about you. And when I begin to explain, you'll understand what I mean. Make sure you have all the information about you on your CV. Okay? Career related. Career related. But when you are preparing a resume, it should be that you are applying for a job with a company. More precisely, when the company did not specify whether it should be called a CV or resume, please, you can use resume, but that resume will be customized to suit the job you're applying for. When I begin to explain, you'll understand all of that. The resume should be customized to suit the jobs that you are applying for. Okay, the resume should be customized to suit the job that you're applying for. What I mean is based on what the designation is. They should customize the resume, which means there are certain information that may not be needed, even though you have them. You may not need to include them there. And one of the reasons is that when you apply for a job, a lot of persons also applied for the same job. And recruiters do not often have all the time. Recruiters do not often have all the time. And so what happens? They would have to run through a lot of submissions. And so you must be able to put yourself amongst those who will be, you know, appointed for the CV, or who will be called, or who would be, noted for the for the interview. So for you to be among those that will be noted for the interview, then you must be able to customize it in such a manner that you will give the right information that is needed straight to point. But though your CV has a lot more information, but all those information may not be needed when you're applying for a job in a particular company. So I want you to take note of that. I want to do an introduction, but one of my admin is not here yet, so maybe I'll do that at the end of this meeting when I'm done. All right. Having said that, what is a CV? Everyone knows a CV is a curriculum vitae, but I want to take it in another dimension. A CV is a life history. A CV, I want you to turn on the drain. A CV is a life history. A CV is a life history. A CV is a life history. Now think about that. Your CV is your life history, which means invariably your CV is your career history. Everybody should have a career history, but so unfortunate that if you get some persons today, it's called that they don't have a career history. What do I mean by that? They don't have an academic qualification. They do not have a professional qualification. They have not attended any training. So I wonder how those people will really survive. The truth is that even if you're doing business, even if you didn't go to the university, you should be able to have some form of professional equipping. So your career history invariably is what your CV is. Your career history, your life history. And then your career virtue, your your CV accounts for your career virtue or your career status. Everyone should have a career status. When you meet someone for the first time, or an employer encounters you, what they want to know is about your career status. What is your career status? You will tell me, like for graduates, tell me I'm a graduate of biochemistry, I'm a graduate of mechanical engineering, I'm a graduate of elect, I'm a graduate of management sciences. That's very good and beautiful. But is that all? That's a question. That is not supposed to be all. You are supposed to have much more than that, because from the definition of a career is a continuous progression. So it's an upward shift of your professional and your work life. It's an upward shift of your professional and your work life. So you're expected not to just be a graduate from a university or polytechnic or from a college of education, with a particular or in a particular field. You were supposed to have other, developments attached to that, which will give your status a weight or make it weightier. So, having said that, there are some basic factors you must consider when you talk about a CV. Now, why I'm doing this is because I've found a lot of persons being deceived. People who claim that they can teach you how to write a CV that will blow the mind of your employers. But I don't subscribe to that because it's not instantaneous. The things I'm going to be sharing with you are things that you need to build if you've not built them. The things you need to know if you've not known them. the things you need to take into consideration if you've not done that. So quickly, what are these factors or resources? Because you know that for you to apply for a job or talk about a job, competence is the key. Competence is the key, and competence means capability. So we invariably want to look at what makes for capabilities, because that is what your CV actually contains. What makes for capabilities? What makes for capabilities? Simply put, the first is knowledge. The first is what? Knowledge. Like I said, you know, you must have gotten a degree in a particular field from a given institution. Okay, so that is a major expert acquisition. So say you have a knowledge in engineering, mechanical engineering, or you have a knowledge in medicine, depending on the aspects of medicine, or you have a knowledge in management sciences, social sciences, and all of that. So you have knowledge in a particular field. Okay, so we can address you as a mechanical engineer. We can address you as an engineer. We can address you as a computer scientist. We can address you as a geologist. We can address you as a linguist. We can address you as a mass communicator. That's all good and fine, but it's not enough. Why is it not enough? It's not enough because we are in an era of what is called uh, an era of acceleration. We are in an era of acceleration. We are in an era or in a time of acceleration. And the time of acceleration we're in is a time that actually defines or describes, the jet age or the speed age. And in this age, everything is getting sophisticated, everything is getting advanced rapidly. And so you must be smart enough to get into that. You must be smart enough to also follow the rapid advancement. That's what is called system sophistication. And system sophistication simply defines or describes what is called complex career paths and diverse skill requirements. I'll take it again. That's what is called system sophistication. And system sophistication simply describes system sophistication simply describes what I refer to as complex career path. Welcome, Engineer Yoko Victor Don Best. You're welcome. I can see you right now online. You're welcome. You're welcome. Just feel free to be with us and to make your contributions by text. I'm going to see all of that. You're welcome. So, with regards to system sophistication, we are talking about complex career paths and diverse skill requirements. Why do we talk about complex career paths and diverse skill requirements? Because the job order is changing. The job order is changing, and so studying mass communication in school is no longer enough. Saying I'm a mechanical engineer is no longer enough. Like very recently, the NUC came up with a split of mass communication into about 9 departments. I'd like you to reason that for a while. NUC came up with a split of mass communication into about 9 departments. One of them is media studies. One of them is media studies. Can you imagine that? Media studies. Just one of them is media studies. And then you have even photography and all of that. So you have different other fields that came out from mass communication, which includes things like public relations. So now somebody goes to school to study public relations, under mass communication. Somebody goes to do media studies under mass communication. Somebody goes to do journalism under mass communication. Is that not wonderful? I think that is wonderful. That is great. Okay? But even at this split that makes it easier for people to chart a career course, we still have other issues that need to be attended to. All right. And what are those issues that need to be attended to? I really like you to be patient because I want to demystify this issue on curriculum vitae because a lot of our graduates are confused. Not because they are not intelligent. I can tell you this. A lot of our graduates are intelligent. As a matter of fact, intelligence is what we were born with, only to be rightly developed. So nobody can be denied of intelligence. But we're lacking guidance. We're lacking the right information. We're lacking mentorship. We're lacking coaching. And so we are so intelligent, but we are confused sometimes. Intelligence, a first class degree, second class upper, you know, and lower, and all of that. Some people distinction from the polytechnics, and all of it, but still we're confused about what to do. Why are we confused? We're confused because the school structure in this part of the world, you know, don't have the requisite facilities, don't have the requisite curricula, don't have the required competent lecturers, which I can sum up now. Our academic institutions do not have the requisite system to build competent career persons. Our academic structure does not have the required system to build competent persons. To build competent persons. Of course, for your information that for you to be competent, you must have the right skill sets, you must have the right knowledge, and you must have the right attitude. You must have the right skill sets, you must have the right knowledge, and you must have the right attitude. I'm going broad like this. I'm going to narrow CV down. So in case of you, for some of you who are writing, I'm going to give you, a brief rundown, step by step, what the CV is, but I want to give you a broader view of what prepares you. And I'm saying that for you to be competent, the word competent means capability. And for you to be competent, it means you are resourceful, which means you are full of resource. And for your information, resource means value. Resource means virtue, and that is what guarantees the labor market operations. When you hear about labor market, the labor market is simply the resource market, or what's called the value market. You cannot go into the labor market without values. You can't be in the labor market without competence. And don't be scared, because school taught a lot of us to be scared. What do I mean by that? Because of grading. By grading and score rating, a lot of people began to feel that they are good for nothing. But I want to tell you, you were born with so much deposits. You were created with so much deposits. All you need is development, and school was one of the ways. Even though academically, some people may not have done well, and I used to explain why. There are lots of factors, but I tell you, if you can go through a process of mastery, if you can go through some specific professional trainings, you are good to do so well that nobody will ever believe. Why? Because there is a deposit in you that makes for competence only if it is properly harnessed. So for you to say I am competent, take note of this by going to the CV proper. For you to say I am a competent person, please, you must have the right skills, you must have the right attitude, and then you must have the right knowledge, the expert acquisition. If you have these three factors, then you are competent. Now you can imagine why some people have knowledge and skills and yet they can't retain their job, because they have very poor attitudes. Some people may have a right attitude but they lack knowledge. And some may have knowledge already but they lack skills. And so that's a problem. So if you don't have a combination of these three, which I call competence triangle, if you don't have the competence triangle, which is knowledge, skills, and attitude, then you are not competent. You may get a job through nepotism and favoritism, but I assure you it's not going to last. Why? Because a boss that may not be your brother or sister may come in someday. And then even if you work in your brother's organization, your sister's organization, someday your incompetence will irritate him or her because you were not competent. If you have a poor attitude, you're bound to shout at your boss someday when the job tends to be a bit, difficult. Yes. But when you have these three things I'm talking about, for which I will carve out creative skill from now. Creative skill. I'm carving out creative skill from skills. You now see that no matter how difficult a job is, you will face it. Why? Because you are highly adaptable. And that is one of the factors of emotional intelligence, adaptability. So you will be highly adaptable that you can't be found wanting on your job. You know why? You don't go to your boss to say, I couldn't do the job. You go to him to say, though the job was difficult and stressful and challenging, I was able to handle it or to overcome. So having given this background, maybe your questions will bring me back to some of these things. Let me quickly run through the CV. What are those factors you need? We said knowledge is number one. So when you acquire a degree from an institution of learning, we will say you have what? Knowledge in a given field. And then the second one is what is called skill sets. And what does it mean when we say skill sets? Skill sets have to do with relevant job-related activities acquired through training. Relevant job-related activities acquired through training. So if you say you have a skill, tell me how much trainings you have attended. If you say you have a skill, how many trainings have you attended? Let's begin with whether with certificate or not. Have you attended any training? How did you get the skill? Because skill is invariably what you can refer to as prowess. Prowess. So they are relevant job-related activities acquired through training. So you can refer to them as abilities. But you know that abilities are often dormant and need to be harnessed. So if you want to account for skills, like for instance, if you say you have ethical skills, if you say you have professional skills, if you say you have creative skills, if you say you have management skills, if you say you have technical skills as concerning your field, like for instance, an architect goes for Oracle, AutoCAD, and all of that. An accountant goes for Peachtree, Oracle, and all of that. Okay, sorry, architect goes for ArchiCAD and AutoCAD. An accountant goes for Oracle and Peachtree and MS Access and MX Excel. Okay, a customer relations expert, of course, goes for trainings on how to, customer relations management, attitudinal trainings, how to be able to do effective presentations, how to be able to do effective interactions, and all of that. So you must be able to account for the skills that you have acquired. Now, what I'm telling you now is what is going to make your CV, let me use this word, fat. If you want your CV to be fat, when you begin to write your CV, sometimes you get tired writing. You know why? Because you have a lot of information to put on your CV. And that's why I said, when you're applying for a job, customize so that you can sieve it and take the ones that particularly address the job you want to apply for. So you need skill sets. And we have two major facets of skills I've mentioned, but let me do a divide again. The first facet is what's called soft skills. And the second facet is, please, if you're calling me, don't call now until I'm done with this. The second facet is what is referred to as hard skills. So you have soft skills and have hard skills. Soft skills are those skills that are not directly connected to your job. What do I mean by that? For instance, I said, if you studied, in the civil engineering, architecture, and all of that, you need AutoCAD. That's a hard skill. It's not a soft skill because it's directly connected to your job. Do you understand it right now? It's directly connected to your job. But when we talk about creative skills for you, they are soft skills. When we talk about human relation skills, they are soft skills. Even though they are major skills for some professions, but they are soft skills on a general note. Okay, good management skills, coordination skills, okay, social skills, they are soft skills. So you must be able to get those soft skills that are needed irrespective of your field, and then you must be able to get those core skills that are needed for your field, and you can put them as technological skills. Okay, every field today needs a technology to run. Every skill today needs a technology to run. And that's why it's becoming difficult for some persons to be able to access some jobs. So the second thing you need on your CV is what? Skill sets. So you need knowledge, which defines your academic qualification on your CV. They say, I hold a BSc in so and so. That's your academic qualification. Then you go to your skills, and then for instance now, how do you talk about your skills? You talk about it from your professional, trainings and certifications. You talk about it from your professional trainings and certifications. Like I mentioned, AutoCAD, ArchiCAD, and all of it, Oracle, Peachtree. If you've gone for trainings in this, those are things that comes under your professional trainings and certifications. They come under your professional trainings and certifications. Yeah, because you have something to show for it. Please endeavor to do a training and to have a certificate to show for it, because your supposed employer was not there. But the certificate is one of the ways they can, prove, and even for further confirmation, they can confirm from the institution that trained you that indeed you have gone to acquire skills. You've gone to acquire skills. You now have prowess, okay, to be able to do the job. So the second is skill, and the third is skill, which is supported by professional trainings and certification. Okay, so you have academic qualification for those who are writing. You have professional trainings and certifications. Okay, then the third one, you have professional membership. There's a difference between professional trainings and certification and professional membership. Professional membership tells that you belong to a professional body. Professional membership tells that you belong to a professional body. Like I can give you some examples. For instance, a lot of you should know about ICANN, and a lot of you should also know about the Management Institute that we have, in Nigeria, which is called NIM. Okay, now NIM is there, ICANN is there, and other professional bodies that I may not be able to mention right now because there are so much. You can contact me privately. I have over 45 professional bodies in existence in Nigeria, of course, including one of the professional bodies I also belong to, which is called SILPAN, Chartered Institute of Local Government and Public Administrators of Nigeria. You have bodies like WSO, World Safety Organization, you have bodies like ISPON, and what have you. There are lots of professional bodies. If you belong to any of these bodies, we can say that you have a professional membership. And what's the importance of professional membership? Professional membership tells that you belong to a clique of professionals where continuous knowledge, views are shared, and current practices are made available. Remember that there are standards that govern practices in every profession. And for you to have access to those standards continually, you must belong to a professional body, because that is where you get access to that. And you also get trainings and retrainings under that professional body, different from trainings and certification. So now we have academic qualification, which explains knowledge. We have professional trainings and certifications, okay, which explains the skills you have acquired. Okay, then we have professional membership, which tells of how consistent and how current, how trendy you would be when it has to do with standards that regulates activities in your profession. Now, let me come a little bit back to skills, to skill set again, while I talk about professional trainings and certification. Now, for instance, if I have done a firefighting training, now on my CV, I can have a skill that says fire fighting and prevention skills. If I have done a training on cardiopulmonary resuscitation, which is CPR, okay, I can put that as well as CPR skills, okay, and then general first aid skills. I can do that because I've attended the training, I've done training. If I've done a training on, hazard and risk assessment and management, I can also put that as a skill. The same is applicable for those who have IT skills. Like some people have office management, office application skills. You can use the Microsoft Word, for instance. I say you have word processing skills. Okay, you do AutoCAD and ArchiCAD. You have designing skills, graphic design skills, and all of that. These skills help to explain the facets of abilities that you have that is relevant to the particular job you are applying for. So you need a professional training and certification. You may go further to become a member of a professional body. These are things you can consult me on privately. We can give you guidance on this, because that's part of what we do. And then apart from that, the next one is your work experience or job experience. These are four major things I want you to know before I talk about others. You need academic qualification for those who can. But let me also cover for those who may not have been able to attend university. If you didn't go to a university, you can major from professional. You can go for professional trainings and certifications. You can also belong to professional bodies because majority of professional bodies have provision for school cert holders. Yes, and have provision for people with a work experience. I don't know if you get what I'm saying right now. So even if you've not attended a university, if you have job experience based on the number of years required that the professional body gives, you can become a member of that professional body and acquire their trainings and their certifications so you can still practice. Though there may be some seeming difference between one who have academic qualification and professional qualification, and those who have just professional qualification. But however, you are going to be relevant, you are going to be useful, you are going to be found doing something very, very useful in the industry that you belong. So the fourth one is job experience. What is the importance of job experience? Very simple: mastery. Job experience is what? Mastery. Job experience is what? Mastery. Job experience is mastery. I've always advised the graduates that I train that they should go for experience. How? They say there is no job. There may be no job, but what should you do? Turn off this light. This one. There may be no job, but what should you do? Do a volunteer job. Do a volunteer job. Apply as a volunteer instead of sitting at home. When you do a volunteer job and you do that job for 1 year, you would have gotten what? Experience. Don't worry, when I'm done with this video, I'm going to summarize the CV steps so I write it down. I'm giving you details so I believe you're writing. So what happens? When you work for 1 year, you have 1 year experience, 1 year job experience. If you work for 2 years, you have 2 years job experience. Do you know that that's a capital? Do you know that experience is a capital? Yes, experience is what? A capital. Experience is a capital and you need it. Because most times, some people have lost jobs, even though they have the knowledge and skill, but because they don't have experience. The company says, no, we need somebody with 2 years experience. We need somebody with 3 years experience. We need somebody with, all those number of, please put on the AC for me. We need somebody with some number of, years of experience. Put on the AC for me. We need somebody with a number of years of experience. So you need experience. But I'm going to tell you how to write it on your CV. When you want to write your work experience on your CV, do you know what you need to do? You don't just go and say, I was a secretary with my organization, ABC Limited. No. You don't just go and say, I was an admin with XYZ Limited. No, that's wrong. Now, it may not be wrong per se, but what I mean is it does not give clarity about you. Okay? One of the reasons for job experience, one of the reasons for job experience is simply, let's give it to me. One of the reasons for job experience is simply to enable you to be able to show value. For instance, if you work with a company as an admin, what were the roles you played? Do you know that as an admin in company XYZ and as an admin in company ABC, your functions may slightly differ? Are you aware of that? Let me take it again. As an admin in company XYZ, and please be preparing your questions, please, so that when we finish, that will help us a lot. So I would prefer you type your questions here, okay? But for those of you who want to call, you check that number on Stella Bassey's box, okay? You can call that number. The number is 081 3532 8780. I'll take it again. The number is 081 3532 8780. 081 3532 8780. So if you work for an organization for 2 years as an administrator, you should be able to highlight the roles you played. You understand? You should be able to do what? Highlight the what? The roles you played. Okay? Because when you highlight the roles that you played, because an admin actually is the one that is in charge of the various activities, okay, in the organization, okay, of all various designations in the organization, they actually report to the admin. The admin is in charge. The admin is like the manager, okay, in that organization, the manager managing every other designations. So what were the functions or the roles you played? Your supposed employer wants to know about it, because the roles you played may be slightly different from the roles played in other organizations by other persons. So you may stand the chance of getting the job because of a specific role that you indicated on your CV as an admin. So take that as a cue to other fields, or other positions. So don't forget, four major resources I've mentioned that must be on your CV, except for those who are not opportunity to go to university. But let me take the four. But if you're not opportunity to go to university, then you can take off the first one. So they are academic qualification, which I've given you explanations about. And the second is professional trainings and certifications, which is what builds your skills, your skill sets. Skill sets are relevant job-related activities, okay, for a particular organization that is acquired through training. Okay, so professional trainings and certifications, professional membership, and then job experience. Job experience. So knowledge, skills, professional membership, job what? Experience. Academic qualification, professional trainings and certification, professional membership, then what? Job experience. These four are key for any CV. These are the first four things that any employer would go look for before you talk about other things. That's why anybody who's telling you how to build a CV that will blow the mind of your employer, ask the person, do you know if I have these four things? Do you understand it now? Ask the person, do you know if I have these four factors? Academic qualification, professional training and certification, professional membership, and job experience. In case for some of you who may not have job experience, please, what you do is go for volunteer jobs and get experience. So on your CV, when you put your academic qualification, put your professional training and certification, put your professional membership, put your job experience, still list your skill set. Okay? Still indicate your what? Skill set. How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that is that your professional trainings will read firefighting training, firefighting and prevention training with so and so institution, cardiopulmonary resuscitation training with so and so institution, okay? Hazard and risk management with so and so institution. Your professional training and certification will list that, okay? Then, but your skill sets will talk about firefighting skills, CPR skills. So they are not the same thing. I get it right now. They are not the same thing, okay? So it helps to reveal what you can offer and what you can do. So you should be able to list your professional trainings and then your skills. You have to highlight them and make them very different. So don't forget, and I've made it, there are about 5 now that I've mentioned: academic qualification, professional training and certification, job experience, professional membership, and then skill sets. Don't play with highlighting your skill sets, because this is one of the things employers will look at for. Don't play with that. Why? Let me tell you this. Every employer is looking for specific skills. You know why? Because the industries of today are driven by what skills? Let me give you a little clue now. Do you know most of the people who work in some of these offshore and onshore, some of them are not university graduates. Some of them were trained in specific areas and they're doing big jobs right now. Big jobs right now. They're doing big jobs right now. Like for instance, some people who do, helicopter and underwater escape training, which is safety related. They've got some big jobs. They don't need to go to university because the employer wants specific skills. We know the university has a role it plays, mostly for people who play the managerial roles and administration and all of that. But you don't really need a university degree for a start to survive. But I advise you have it, making it all efforts For me, as an intellectual, that's one of the things I advise everybody to have. But if you feel you can have it based on your own choice, get a profession, get a skill. Okay? So these five, and then you can talk about hobby. Hobby. You can talk about hobby. And then you can talk about achievements. What is hobby? Hobby is what you do during your leisure. But going through a lot of CVs in course of my mentorship and coaching programs with precisely graduates, I have discovered that a lot of people don't understand the relationship between their hobby and their profession. And that's what I want to explain today. If you're applying for a job, and then your hobby is such that contradicts the job you want to do, you will lose that job. Let me give an example. You're applying for accounting job. Accounting job. You're going to be an accountant for a company. And then in your hobby, you talk about partying. Somebody who likes party. You like a lot of socials. What that tells is that you have a lot of distractions. And so you're going to balance accounts wrongly. Do you understand that? Hello? You're going to balance account what? Wrongly. So, in order for you not to have such a problem, your hobbies must be tailored to suit your highlighted profession and skill sets and area of specialization. So what's your hobby? Let me give you some instance now. I've just given an explanation, for instance. For instance, if you talk about somebody who likes research or reading, what do you read? Educationals. Some people say I like reading novels, and you want to become an accountant. How is that going to work? Now, if you say music, you like listening to music, what kind of music do you listen to? Because there are different types of music. And if you listen to some kind of music, it tells also of what kind of a person you are or what your mindset as a person is. So your hobby must be such that is in line with your profession, and your hobby must be such that adds values to you while you are out of work, and then enables you to do your work better when you come on your job. So any hobby that does not add value in one way or the other to you, like for instance, example say swimming, that's exercise. It helps you physically, and exercise also helps you mentally, so it's not bad. So any type of exercise you tend to do, exercise is accepted because exercise helps to keep you fit. Ergonomics wise, exercise helps to keep you fit. That's what we call ergonomics in safety. So every employer would want that. It's more like a general one. So your hobby must be specific, and then achievement. Achievement have to do with what awards have you received? Maybe for chairing a project. Okay? What project did you accomplish successfully for your company when you headed the project or when you were a member of that team? Some of these things you must make very clear. Okay? So what achievements have you got? If you have this clear, it tells that at least you made some headways in your career path. Not to worry, for some of you who may be starting career early, you still have time to achieve all of this. But just know that these things are important, so you begin to work in them. Okay? So what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say in essence is that for you to prepare a proper CV, these are the basic things you need. Okay? You need your academic qualification. You need professional trainings and certifications. You need professional membership, and you're going to name the institution you belong to, and whether you're an associate member, whether you're a student member, whether you are a member, that's what they call member, that's the next level after associate, whether you are a fellow, which tends to be the highest level, or whether you are an affiliate member. So you must be able to state that there. And then your work experience and your skill set. So you have these five major. If you can get them, then you can now go to hobbies and then achievements. Make sure these other ones are first of all up. I didn't talk about objective because for me, it's just one of those designs or one of those cosmetics we put on CVs, which is not bad. But I tell you the truth. In spite of the objective you wrote on your CV. If you don't have these things to show working, let me use this term to show working. If you don't have these 5 things I've mentioned, then you don't have a CV. If you don't have these 5 things that I've mentioned, then you do not have what? A CV. So in all of this, make sure that the things that you're penning down are things you can defend. Don't worry, when I do a video on interview, I'm going to give you more details about being able to defend your CV. But quickly, while applying for a job, you must know the industry you want to work. That is part of what I call prospects of job opportunities. I'm not going to be discussing that today. Let me not overload you with much information. You must understand the system that runs such industry. You must precisely know the company you are applying to work with. You must know the company you're applying to work with. Why should you know the company? Some people have gone for interview, they ask them, what's the name of this company? They start thinking, oh, I've forgotten. Why? Because they never did any homework before they went for interview. Like, they might ask you, what do you know about our company? You start scratching your head. It means you're not ready to work in that company. Your research prior should have told them about the history of the company, how long the company has been existing from your research, what areas of interventions or activities or products the company deals on, what achievement the company may have made. Do you understand? Where they are in the industry. For instance, when you want to compare some oil companies to other oil companies or some banks to other banks. So before you work with a particular bank or a particular oil company or a particular construction company or a textile company or a bottling company, you must be able to have some information, basic information about that company. Get to know about the history, culture, system, salary range. Get to know about that. When you do this, then you are sure to standing for a particular job. So this is a brief I want to do. There is so much to discuss, but I don't want to take much of your time. Like I said earlier, if you have a question, please type it here so that I can respond to it quickly. Okay, type your questions quickly, please. If you have any question, type it down so I can respond to it. But if you also have a call, you can just put us on call quickly. Put us on call, and I'm going to also respond so that others will be hearing. But if you have a question, you can type it, and then I'll respond to the question quickly. So today you know that curriculum vitae is simply what we refer to as your career history, or your career virtue, or your career status. Curriculum vitae is what we refer to as your career history, your career virtue, or your career status. So running through what I had explained, now you know that this is actually what makes a person competent. So before you talk about preparing a CV, you must be sure of your competence. It's called empowerment. You must be sure of your competence. And that's why in today, you must train and train and retrain. You must train, train and retrain. And whatever training you're doing, whatever skills you're getting, make sure that you adapt everything to the current trend, current technology for work in your area of practice. And I want to tell you, that's really going to take you places. That is going to take you places. Please, I would like some questions, please, because questions would help me to touch some things possibly that is in your heart that I may not have touched. Gold, you're there. If you have a question, please just type it. Okay, or possibly if you want to put a call across, okay, you can put a call across and I will get a call and I will respond. Okereke Namde is here. Um, you can also put your question down there and I'm going to answer. Okereke Namde Wafo is one of our admin who is more like a moderator on our group. And then Bassi Stella is also an admin, but her duty is advertising what we do as a company and also helping to give certain basic information, that leads the way on the group. But I need one more admin for someone who is very smart and who can volunteer. I need somebody who would be available and who can volunteer and who is very smart. Because if you must work with me, you must be a very smart person because I do a lot of creative works, and I need people who can really adapt to the level of creativity that we have. Okay, so I need just one more admin, somebody who can help me to schedule our programs. Stella's duty as an admin is specifically advertising our programs and leading the way in that perspective. Okereke Namde's job is to moderate, for us to moderate on the group, both people coming into the group newly, getting them to introduce themselves, moderating posts from people, and all of that. Okay, and then the next admin is an admin that will help us to schedule our live presentations and also to alongside moderate the presentation, like sharing of numbers, and then our connecting of members during the live videos and all of that. So we need just one more admin. The group was just created recently. We actually migrated from Exploit Dynamics to ECRD Professionals Alumni, which is where we are right now. And trust, it has been great. Trust me, it has been great. It has been wonderful. My biggest dream is to make the group, a kind of an archive, or to make the group, a loaded library where you can always go to get information. That's why you see me doing rapid posts, prolific writings and posting on business and career matters. The reason is that whether you were there when it was posted or not, you can always run through to get information that would help you. Like a good example is what we've done very recently. I've done about 5 major assets for running a business, which ranges from having a profile to having a structure to having a system to having a policy and to having a strategy. And all of those posts are there on the group. You can find them. There are lots of other posts I have done related to business and career, and more of them are coming. If you check on our post topics, those post topics are topics we're going to be discussing on live. And I just put them there so that people can always get notice of them, make your research on your findings even before we come live on that, and possibly ask questions. We'll be picking from those post topics and be making live presentations. So if you look at those posts, you can see that there are a lot of very vital information there. I want to assure you that there's so much you have to know about the labor market. There's so much you have to know about working with your employer. There's so much you need to know about your rights. There's so much you need to know about your obligations as mandated by the Labor Act and other over 10 related labor laws, and also as mandated by some international labor conventions, which is from ILO, International Labour Organization, which is a component of the United Nations. I can tell you, Nigeria is a member of the United Nations, and so invariably, Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment or Productivity is also a member of International Labour Organization. And for your information, International Labour Organization regulates labor-related matters globally. And so the relationship here is that Nigeria, in most cases, would domesticate and ratify most of the conventions. Most of the conventions, I mean most of the standards from ILO. Just like we'll also domesticate and ratify standards from World Health Organization, that is via Ministry of Health. But I'm concerned about ILO right now. Okay, so there are lots of things we need to know. Then for business people, there's so much you need to know basically about how to start a business and how to run a business. Doing a business is not registering a business, but doing a business is knowing the mechanics on how to run a business. How you go into contracts, how you run partnerships, how you strategize, how you enter into agreements that will not, backfire at you tomorrow. All of these things we're going to be discussing here. Meanwhile, whether there's a live presentation or not, you can always leave your questions on the group, and I will attend to those questions. So please, do you have any question right now? If you have any question, let me see the questions so that possibly we can respond to your questions. Any question? Any question? If you have a question, please feel free to ask. Or you have a contribution, just type it there, and I will quickly, I'll bring it up. Just type your contribution. What do you feel about curriculum vitae? What do you feel about career status? What do you feel about career virtue? What do you feel about career history? What is your career history? How many skills have you built? How many professional trainings have you attended? How many workshops and seminars have you attended? What books have you read that will help you in your career? These are things we're talking about. What's your attitude like? Don't forget, we say if you have a bad attitude with a good skill and knowledge, you will lose your job someday. You'll lose partnerships someday. If you have knowledge, lacking skills, requisite skills, and attitude, you'll still lose your job. You have an attitude and not having the right knowledge and skill, you'll lose your job. So you need all of these three to be able to stand the test of time. Any question, please? Is Stella there, please? Stella, are you there? Um, Namdi, are you still there? Please, you guys can drop your questions if you have. Um, Arc Engineer, Victor, I know you're there. That has been my friend way back. Thank you for coming on. Okay, and help us to share the video. Help us to do also the live party even after now. Okay, a kind of a way of getting people to watch the video even after the video. So you can always do that after now. Spread the videos so that people can benefit from these as well. I would like to go off in no distant time where there are no questions. I'd like to go off now. I don't need to take all the time so you can go back to what you have to do for today. We're going to notify you of when next we're coming up again. Today it came a little bit sudden. That's why I said I need an admin that will help me to schedule the live presentations here. That's why I said that, because I'm busy with a lot of things, basically with the research works and coming up with information that we need to be feeding the group with. So on that note, I need a little relief, if I could get someone that would help to do this. Okay? Uh, that is it. Arc Engineer says, thank you, great man with vast ideas. You are a blessing to this generation. Thank you so much, Arc Engineer. You've always been a great support to my pursuits. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're still brothers, even if we're not blood brothers, but we're still brothers because we relate on issues that matters. Remember, it has always been career matters, from the first day we met, and today, thank God you're doing so well in your architectural works. Thank you so much, for keeping a focus in your pursuit. So, Gold, don't you have a question? You were our top contributor um, as at now, and still now, you are our top contributor on the group. You're here, right here, Gold. If you have any question, please feel free. If you have any contribution, please just type it. If you have any concern, it may not be for you directly, but for other persons, who may not have known how to go about it, they can just type it so I can deal with it, and possibly people can partake from it as well. Okay? Just feel free to do all of this. Mustafa Abdul Rashid is just coming in when we're about to go. Yeah, it's not your fault because we didn't do it. A prior earlier notice. The notice came like about 45 minutes or 1 hour before the time. Thank you for still making that time to be here. Okay, we appreciate you all. Questions? Any question? Question? You can type so that we can answer. Any question? Okay, there's somebody's coming up with a question, so I'm waiting so I can attend to that question. Please, like I said, your identity is your career and or your business. Don't play with it. Don't mind all the activities that are going on Facebook. If you don't have a career or a business, you are just like swimming in an ocean on Facebook. If you don't have a career, you don't have a business, you don't have an intending career, you don't have an intending business, you are only swimming on Facebook and any other social media. And I can tell you that, you know why? Once you leave Facebook, you retire to your house alone. Nobody will be with you anymore. So don't be deceived when you're on Facebook. Everybody goes home with their identity. What's your identity? You need an identity. I said you need an identity. When I say you need an identity, I mean that you need an identity. You need an identity. Very important. Yes, you need an identity. Everybody needs an identity. You can call the number in case if you want to reach us. Please, you can do that quickly. If you also want to do a type of question or a text, okay, just do that. Just do that quickly. Just do that quickly. Thank you, Don. Say, I'm going to somewhere even before now. Thank you very much. Of course, we've always known that, but we're not in a rush. We always take our time. Popularity is not the in thing. The in thing is impact, and that's our concern. Our need for reaching a larger audience so that we can impact them and get impacted as well, and all of us being impacted. That's the whole essence of reaching a larger audience. Popularity without impact is nonsense. It makes no sense. That's part of the menace we face today. And we believe that with time we'll be able to change the narrative. That's the whole essence of our being here. We want to change the narrative. Somebody is trying to put up a question. I believe that that question possibly will benefit or profit, each and every one of you here. Okay, don't forget, now and after now, please share the video. Share the video so people can partake. Make your comments while you're sharing the video. So tell the people how much impact you got from this live presentation. And also do a watch party as well. That's what I'm trying to say. Do a watch party where people can partake even when the video has ended live, but people can share in the watch party, and you can possibly coordinate that watch party. All of these will help us to be able to reach larger number. For your information, this group has actually not been made public. That's why if you watch a private group, I have my reason for that. I don't want any and anybody to be here. I want specific persons to be here. That's why primarily we're still transferring, my trained students from my different WhatsApp groups, to this place. And then we're also bringing some persons I've identified on Facebook to be people who are relevant when it comes to do with career and business. So if you got my invitation, it's because you were relevant, because you're somebody that have shown our proven relevance career and business wise. That is why I actually invited you. We're not here for a show, we're here for a serious business, and it's only for people business. Okay, I've got the question of Stella. She said, in the factors you mentioned, knowledge, which is what we studied in higher institution. Let me get the further, which is what we studied in higher institution. She said, my question is, what about those without university certificate? I think I mentioned that earlier, but let me reiterate that. I said it earlier that if you ask me, I will advise that everyone should try and get a university, a polytechnic, a college of education, qualification. However, it is nearly impossible for everybody to have a university, college of education, or polytechnic qualification. And the reason is that there are varying factors ranging from background, the kind of background people came from, ranging from when people realize themselves, even though there is no time that is late to go to school per se, but based on individuals, they may see it as not being possible anymore. However, going to school is not a guarantee to wealth. Let me establish this now. Please take note of this. Going to school is not a guarantee to wealth. If you observe, you discover that majority of the wealthy people didn't get wealthy because they were graduates. Some of them are not graduates, some of them are graduates, but they got wealthy because they have a unique idea that can solve problems in the world. And that's why they became wealthy. And I can also tell you, majority of the people working for these wealthy people are graduates. Yeah. Majority of the people working for these wealthy people are graduates. So being a graduate is not a guarantee, please, to becoming wealthy. No. So for those who do not have university qualification, what can they do? Simple. Go for a professional training. Go for a professional training. There are two ways it can be done. I said earlier when I started. One of the ways it can be done is this. Okay? Majority of the professional bodies in Nigeria, like ICANN, I'll use ICANN as an example. ICANN has a provision for secondary school holders. So you can, as a school cert holder, you can enroll in ICANN from the level that is meant for school cert holders and graduate to the level that even a university graduate can get to. It's just that the timing is what? Different. Okay? So you can become a professional with a school cert. Then what about somebody who doesn't have a school cert? Yes, there may be difficulties because the professionalism in ICANN requires some level of technicality. That's why school start is the least. Even in SailPank, which is one of the boys I belong to, I'm a fellow of that body. They also have provision for, in fact, they run secondary school programs as I'm talking to you right now. So if you don't have a secondary school certificate, you can become an artisan. You can become an artisan, then read books. And I assure you too, if you are a good scholar, if you read books, if you give your time to reading books, as one who is not a school cert holder, you can write these RSA exams. There's an exams that gives you access to university. Okay, like a school cert exams that is equivalent to SSC, okay, equivalent to WAEC, equivalent to NECO, and all of that, okay, or GC as they call it. So you can actually write those exams. The only way you can do that is when you give yourself to becoming a scholar. When you get scholarly, open your brains, and then possibly attend some adult education. It's not a crime. Okay, surround yourself with people who can help you learn. I tell you the truth, at least you can achieve a school site if you don't want to go further. But if you ask me, I would say try. But if you can't, the basic thing is the change you can create in the world. You can read and write. Once you can read and write, make sure you read books. Make sure you get tutors to help you, or go for some extra morals. Get to read, know how to read and write. Know basic calculations so that you can at least be able to calculate your money when you're doing business or whatever you're doing. Then I assure you that you are guaranteed to do an exploit. So somebody who doesn't have a university degree can still become an expert or a professional and build a worthy CV. In fact, let me tell you, most of the big time companies, including multinationals, most of the people they take today are people who have requisite for professional qualifications, not somebody who has a university qualification without other requisite professional certification. Let me take it again. Most of the big time multinationals today actually take people with requisite professional certifications, not even people with university certifications without those requisite professional certifications. So you see, now that's why I said intelligence is not the problem, but information is the key. And that's why most of our intelligent graduates, in fact, someday, I just wish I get an admin who will help me to do my schedule, but I know I'm going to get that soon. Okay, I'm going to do a presentation on causes of unemployment in Nigeria, and then you get to understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so you can make headway as a professional without university certificate. Please, are there other questions that I need to take? I hope I have done justice to this question. Stella, please indicate online if your question has been answered. If there are things I didn't touch, you can please indicate quickly before we leave. Thank you. Thank you. It's also possible you can leave your questions on the group so that group will can partake. Then I'll answer it on the group. If you don't have questions for now or you have questions later on, just leave them on the group. But refer it to the dissecting curriculum vitae. Refer it to that, and then we will be able to answer that. We'll be able to answer your question. I'm getting set to sign off now because I think we are getting done for today. Getting done for today. Please leave your testimonies about this particular live broadcast on our group. Please, I would advise. This is one of the ways we can make the group grow and to be able to get people to see reasons to partake in the impact. So if you've been impacted, please try to make it known so that other people can join you also to partake of the same thing. And I also want advice that will try to become top contributors in the group by posting, by comments, by likes, and by sharing of the posts. And also try to do some business posts on the group as well. We're going to approve it. I've been the one doing the posts all the while, typing and posting. So try, apart from people who have done introduction. So apart from your introduction, think of unreasonable posts, business and career wise, because we're going to actually examine your posts before we approve them. So try as much as you can to do that, and then we will approve them so other people can benefit. Who can benefit from it. So thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's been a wonderful time, I must say. It's been a wonderful time being here. I didn't plan this, that's the truth, because for me, I'm not yet ready to start a live broadcast, but it just happened so sudden, like about an hour before the time I started to do this, and I quickly just informed also the group, and I could see that a few were able to come up here. Thank you for coming. My name is Chidi Ben. I'm the MyBank Consultant, Effective Consult and Resources Development Limited, popularly known as ECRD Professionals. It is a company that is specialized in training, consultancy, coaching, mentorship, and safety equipment supplies. And we are majored in our training and consultancy in areas like occupational safety and health, management and leadership related stroke entrepreneurship trainings and consultancy, and then career trainings and human resource trainings and consultancy. If you go to our website, which is www.ecrdprofessionals.org, you're going to find that we already have a system beautifully running on that website, ably designed by great admin Bassy Stella, and she's the one managing the website. That's why I tell you that it's good to have a business that has a structure. Good to have a business. You don't need to have millions in your business to have a structure. Someday I'm going to talk about it, but you need to have a structure. So if you go to our website, it's that we've gone digital, we have gone virtual right now. We can do our trainings online. You can be coached online. We have a provision for coaching, but it's for a pay. You have been coached, to do business, coached to pursue a career, develop CVs and all of that. Okay. Then we also have a provision for consultancy for companies that want our services. We also have that. And then we have also a provision for supplies, for equipment supplies. We have it there on our website. All of these things runs concurrently on our websites, and we're still loading more programs as well. Don't forget, if you're working in this era that we're in, if you're doing business in this era that we're in, the pandemic is here, and the pandemic is forcing the virtual and digital system on business and career globally. And the changes that are going to take place is what is called economic cycles. Every company experiences economic cycles, whether it's naturally caused, whether it's legally caused, whether it's technologically caused, okay, whether it is caused based on trends driven by competitors, which is by changes in methods and strategies, which begins to affect your own business in the same industry. Economic cycles will definitely come. Like, for instance, companies are already downsizing. That's economic cycles. Companies are already attuned to virtual system, using of digital system. That's economic cycles. All these changes that are taking place. Companies are outsourcing now their services, their employment. Instead of bringing permanent employees that they have to pay pension and other benefits, they're now saying we need contract staff, sorry. No, that they don't need to pay all these other benefits. Changes are taking place. So it is good that we also attune to the trend. One of the days I'm going to do also a presentation on what makes for an effective employee. So these are some of the things I have to say for today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Keep sharing this video. Keep doing the watch party, and keep sharing your testimony on the group to get other persons to see what we're doing here. Thank you very much. I'm glad to have you here. Bye for now. All the best. Cheers.